Viviane, welcome back to Pantry. What brought you back?
Oh, France's invitation, of course, and
Yes.
I am so happy to be back. It's been a little while. It took, I think, all sides a little while until it actually worked out for me to come back. And I'm so happy to be back. It's kind of like a déjà vu in many ways.
Yes.
And at the same time, I'm very happy to meet musicians I haven't played with before. So it's a nice mix of things I have known from before and new things here.
Yes, yes. And I suppose that goes for the programming as well. I mean, of the festival. Have you noticed a change over these 15 years or 20 years or whatever it is?
I think, of course, the program is very different this year from what I remember when I was here the last time. But what has always struck me about the program here is that it's extremely diverse and extremely well thought through. I think that really sets it apart from many other summer festivals, because for a summer festival, what I see many times is that the program is a little bit on the, say, lighter side, but here it's extremely demanding, and I think also extremely well appreciated by the audience, so that's very admirable, I find.
Do you think there's a healthy balance between the demanding and the lighter side in the overall program?
Well, I think it's a combination of works that work very well. So it's you would actually in one evening, or say throughout half a day, you would get several premieres or Irish premieres, and at the same time you listen to a Beethoven quartet or something like that, and listening to something like a Beethoven quartet in that context is also quite special, and I do think it works very well.
I took the opportunity to eavesdrop one of your master classes yesterday, and you used an expression which I found absolutely wonderful, and that was the energy has rest. Sorry, the rest has energy. The rest has energy. Can you say a few words about that in terms of music, the musician, and perhaps
yes, absolutely. The rests in music, basically the composed silence in the music, I think is absolutely part of the music, because sound is only happening if there was silence before, and also there will be silence afterwards, but this silence has to be filled, I think, with life, and is also quite part of the communication between the musicians and the audience. So I think any rest in music needs to be filled with life, and this quality of rest can be quite different depending on the musical context.
And the festival is very demanding on, when I see some of the rehearsal schedules of some of the musicians. Do you have any time at all to see any of the local delights in West Cork?
Yes, I have had a chance to enjoy this really unique surroundings. I think Bantry House itself is really like nowhere else. The view that you get from either the library where the concerts happen, or if you go on a little walk outside, is stunning. It's absolutely stunning. And I think it also probably influences the way we make music here and we listen to music, to be completely inside nature. So I have fortunately have that chance to enjoy it a little bit.
Wonderful, wonderful. And one of the you mentioned earlier that one of the attractions for a musician is one of the attractions of this festival for a musician is that you get to meet other new musicians you may not have met and actually play with them. Can you say a little bit more about that, and how do you think that might feed into the audience?
Well, I think for most festivals, what's really exciting for an artist or for a musician is to have these encounters with colleagues that you may not actually meet outside a festival. And this is really, I think, Francis, great work that he's put together these groups, and he's, of course, he's probably asking everyone whether he or she would be happy to play in that group. And I think he has a great sense for what is working well. So yes, also this summer I'm meeting a few colleagues of mine who I haven't played with before, and so far it's been going very well. I'm looking forward to a few more meetings, or a few new, I think, encounters with my colleagues who I haven't played with yet. But that's, it's always a very intense collaboration, putting together a work in a relatively short amount of time, and for all of us to, give their inputs and for something to hopefully come out well.
You're also involved in a festival of your own, aren't you, in Germany?
Yes, well, we started a festival in Poland, actually.
Right, okay.
Called Cassava Music, and we started in 2015, so that's the third time coming up this summer. And well, it's a fascinating story behind it, actually. The site of Cassava was Kreisau, which was one of the major resistance movements from the Nazi regime, actually, was started there, the Kreisau Circle. And there are quite a few interesting historic relations to the Marlborough Festival in America, and that's the reason why we actually thought of starting a festival in Europe, and also kind of bringing back a little bit from America what had been, if you want, exported about 60 years ago, when people had to flee the Nazi areas.